Hello, welcome to SMU. As we round out this year in 2019, we figured before we leave for our holiday break that we would help you answer any questions that you've had since 2019. So today, our webinar is going to be based upon our most popular questions of 2019. My name is Abby Pfister-Soria. I'm one of the Associate Directors of Undergraduate Admissions, and I brought some of my favorite people here to answer some of the most popular questions that we get while we're on the road in your neighborhoods as well as here on campus. So Alex, you want to start?
So I'm Alex Munoz. I'm Assistant Director of Admission at SMU.
I'm Caroline Medell. I'm one of the undergraduate admission counselors.
I'm Rod Jackson, one of the Associate Directors, and I am very happy to be one of her favorite people.
There you go, fabulous. Well, we know with this webinar you have a lot of questions, and so we're going to break it down to kind of themes of questions that you or your parents may be having about us. We will answer questions regarding student life here on campus. We will also answer questions about our academic life as well, and then we'll round out with our admissions. So kind of to kick things off, Alex, you were an undergraduate student. What year did you graduate?
Graduated 2013.
Fabulous. And so talk a little bit about what it's like to live on campus. What are our housing requirements? If a student's locally, how does that work?
Great. So yeah, so the housing process at SMU is very simple, where it's guaranteed housing for your first 2 years and it's required for your first 2 years. The system at SMU is what we call residential commons. So there's 11 commons on campus. You actually live in the same commons for both years. Each commons is a mix between freshmen and sophomores and all majors and people from all over. So it's a really nice community, a mix of everyone on campus. So it's very friendly and a very great community. If you're from the local area, we do encourage you to be on campus, and obviously if financials or if there's health issues or religious issues, we can definitely work with you through that. But we do want everyone to be on campus.
Since about 60% of our students do come from outside the state of Texas, one of our popular questions I get on the road, are our residential halls air conditioned?
So all the residential halls are air conditioned. Definitely wouldn't want to be unair conditioned in Texas in August. So it's very comfortable, and they're all very up-to-date buildings and very nice.
So Caroline, tell me a little bit about the relationship with the city of Dallas. We are a city, we're in a city about 5 miles north of the downtown Dallas area, but talk about a little bit about our surroundings in case someone hasn't visited campus.
Absolutely. So the city of Dallas itself, it's thriving, it's a large city, there's a lot of businesses, a lot of things going on. And SMU, I mean, we have this really great position where we're right in the midst of all of that. And so kind of the energy that you see from the city of Dallas really comes onto our campus, but at the same time we have this really great relationship. So our students are oftentimes doing internships with these different companies. When they're not on campus, they might be going to museums, might be going to some of the great restaurants and different things as well. So I think for us it's a really awesome thing that we have, that our students get to be a part of this environment while they're here. And actually about half of our alumni base stays in the DFW area, so this is really awesome for students as they're kind of building connections and learning how to network. And so I think it's a pretty fun place to be, and our students definitely get to experience all of that.
And how easy is it to get to our campus if they are coming from out of town? If they're a junior watching this video and they're trying to schedule their spring break trip here, how easy is it to get to our campus, and any recommendations of where they should stay?
Absolutely. So we're lucky in that we have 2 major airports in our kind of area. We have Dallas-Fort Worth Airport as well as Dallas-Love Field. And so there is public transportation, trains that students can take from those airports into the city itself. Our campus is actually right by Mockingbird Station, which is one of the largest train kind of public transportation systems within the city. So for students trying to get to us, it is fairly easy. You know, we do have Uber and Lyft and all of those things here as well, but that public transportation is great. And so I think for students, really like having that opportunity makes it very easy to come see us. If you know you're going to be flying through Dallas and you want to take a little trip, we'd love to set that up for you.
Wonderful. And if you are scheduling and want to schedule your visit, you can go to smu.edu/visit to see all of the options. The great thing about our process, it's open to all types of students. Freshmen, sophomore, juniors, seniors that haven't applied yet, everyone is welcome once we reopen campus on January the 2nd. So kind of transitioning a little bit more to our academic life here on campus. We just talked about Dallas. Can anyone talk a little bit more about, we get a lot of questions about internships and studying abroad experiences. Does anybody want to talk a little bit more about that, since that's one of our most popular questions here this year?
Yes, I'm happy to dive in, Abby.
Well, thank you.
Great. Dallas, one of the biggest assets I think SMU has going for it is being located in a city like Dallas, Texas. There are a lot of companies that are headquartered here. There are a lot of opportunities for our students outside of the classroom, whether that be internship opportunities or whether that be job placement. As you're visiting schools across the country, this your junior year, your senior year, you'll see a lot of facts and figures and numbers from different institutions. I think one of the most impressive numbers that SMU has to show, or that SMU can give you, is that 3 out of 4 of our graduates will have a job offer or graduate school admission prior to crossing the stage at graduation. So we do an excellent job of placing students on paid internships as undergraduate students. We do an excellent job of placing them on jobs once they leave SMU through the many support services that we have here on campus. And I think that's a big factor for not only for students but for parents that may be watching this as well, to know that we do a great job preparing the students for that next step.
And I can talk a little bit about study abroad. So about 1 in 3 SMU students will study abroad at some point during their time here. So it is fairly popular, and I think what's great is we have a lot of flexibility. So if students are wanting to go abroad for an entire semester, they can definitely do that. If they're looking for an abbreviated amount of time, they can go during the summer. We have terms in May, we have terms in January, and even some spring break trips where students can go abroad. And some of these programs are open to anyone on the campus, regardless of your major. Some of the study abroad is very specific to what you're actually majoring in, and so you have a lot of great opportunities to get course credit while you're abroad, and also just get those experiences of being in a different country, learning a little bit about the language and culture, and so there's a lot of really great things that students can do.
I think one of our other most popular questions that we got this year when we were at college fairs is talking about students that have really long-term career aspirations, going to medical school, going to law school. How does the pre-professional track work here at SMU as students are maybe thinking about applying to us or maybe looking at this long-term?
So for us with the pre-law, or if you're looking for med school, nursing school, veterinary school, we have what we call pre-professional tracks. So for pre-law, it's through the Humanities College, Dedman College of Humanities and Sciences. You can study any major on campus and be on a pre-law track. So you can do business, you can do arts, you can do engineering, and you work with the pre-law advisors through the Humanities College, and they'll just advise you on what extra courses to possibly take to be best prepared for the law school. That's very similar to our pre-health track, and that's the umbrella for pre-med, pre-dental, pre-nursing. And you can do any major on campus and work with the pre-health advisors through Dedman, and they'll tell you what additional science courses you'll need to be best prepared for the application process to medical school after SMU. So they're there to be a support system for you.
One question we usually get after students have seen all of our majors, we have over 100 different majors, a lot of minors. A lot of students, when they interface with some of our students, want to know how easy is it to double major, what are some popular combinations, and most importantly, are they able to graduate in 4 years?
Double majoring, I believe, is very doable at SMU. One of the main reasons that is so is because many of our students enter as pre-majors. So if you're a biological science or an engineering or communications, you enter as a pre-major, meaning you'll enter SMU, you take the core curriculum set of courses that many of our students have to complete for the core portion of your educational experience. And many of those requirements that you take in the core will satisfy requirements for a number of majors across the spectrum. So double majoring, it may just be a factor of taking 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 additional courses to get a second degree. And that's pretty common with our students here on campus as far as taking that option and taking advantage of it.
One of our other most popular questions is recently we had a transition with some of our direct admit programs. As we start more transitioning to more the application type of questions, can anyone talk a little bit more specifically about our new direct admit programs, since that was a very popular question for us in 2019?
So for the direct admission program, that's brand new for us this year. It's our direct admission to the business school. If you have friends or family that have gone to SMU, it's going to be a little different from what they went through. But it's very simple. On your application, when you apply to SMU, you just need to make sure that where it asks you which major you think you want to study, make sure you put business or a business major as your number 1 or number 2 preferred major. You'll automatically be reviewed for the business program. You don't need to do anything additional for the application. So just indicate business and you'll be automatically reviewed for that. You'll find out about your admission to the business school a few days after you find out about your admission to the university.
And I can talk a little bit about our fine arts programs. This is something that's been in existence for several years. But if you're interested in any kind of a fine arts program that includes performance-based arts, so music, dance, or theater, as well as the visual arts, so studio art or film, those 5 programs actually have their own kind of admission process. So for the performing arts students, they do an audition. For the visual arts students, they would submit a portfolio. So not only would those students be receiving an admission decision from our office, but they will also be hearing from our colleagues over the Meadow School of the Arts.
And so for our students that are watching these videos while we're out on holiday break as well, and they're thinking about applying, one of the questions that we will get over the break is, are you still accepting applications? Does anyone want to take that easy question?
Absolutely. Is there an easy answer? Yes, we absolutely are accepting applications. Our regular decision deadline is January 15th, but we accept applications well after that date. And it's typically on a space availability basis. But if a student decides later on in the process that they've decided, okay, well, my first choice school is not really what I thought I wanted, I want to reevaluate, I want to look at other schools, we're more than happy to evaluate a new application later on in the process for admission to SMU. So please apply to us if you are still considering and want SMU as one of your choices.
So one of our other popular questions, since we are a private university, is talk to the students about how merit-based scholarships, are they available, as well as need-based scholarships or funding?
Great. We have a wide variety of scholarships that are available. The simplest way for students to apply for them is by simply applying to SMU. The application is used, the application for admission is the same application we review for our merit-based scholarships, with the exception of one, our Hunt Leadership Scholarship. That scholarship does require an additional application, an essay, and a 60-second video of you talking about your leadership experience. And it's really focused on students that have been heavily involved in leadership roles and leadership positions in their high school, in their community, and elsewhere. So if you are heavily involved in leadership, we encourage you to apply for that one. We have several that are done through our admissions office. We have a presidential scholarship that's done through our provost office, and that one covers full tuition fees, room and board, and includes a trip in the study abroad program. We also have departmental scholarships. So if a student knows what they want to major in, they're reviewed by each academic school for a scholarship through that particular school. And the schools make individual choices from our office on who receives those scholarships. So a student could receive more than one scholarship as an incoming student depending upon how well they've done overall academically. On the need-based side, you have the FAFSA and the CSS profile. FAFSA is a governmental form. It goes to the Department of Ed, and it tells us how much the Department of Ed believes your family can afford to send you to school. The CSS profile gives us a little more detailed information into each family's need level, and it allows us to grant any institutional aid that comes directly from SMU for students that would like to attend. So between the combination of the FAFSA and the CSS profile and our merit-based scholarships, roughly 75% of our students receive some type of assistance every year. So we work pretty hard to make it financially feasible for students to attend SMU.
So we know that a lot of people that aren't able to visit are international students. We have a very healthy population here on campus. Alex is one of our admission counselors that specifically work with our international students. Are there any specific questions that are more designed for our students that are coming from abroad?
Yeah, so definitely a common question is going to be if there's anything different within the application process. And the main difference is that if you are graduating outside the United States, you will be able to be test optional on your application. So you don't need to submit an SAT or ACT for the application because we know it's difficult to take that test when you're outside the US. So that does include our U.S. citizens abroad. You don't have to submit the SAT or ACT if you don't want to. But if you do submit the SAT or ACT, and you will be reviewed for our larger scholarships. So do keep that in mind, that if you have taken the test and you've done well, submit that score so you can be reviewed for the scholarships, but it is not required for the application. The TOEFL and IELTS, if you're not an English native speaker, you do need to submit the TOEFL or the IELTS test score, and our averages are on our website, so you can keep in mind on those as well.
So our last question is that since they've heard such great things about our most popular questions and they're wanting to apply now, what application methods and where can they go online to apply?
Yeah, I can answer that one. So to apply to SMU, you actually have 4 different application options. So the first one is the Common App. You might already be using that to apply to other schools, so you can add SMU onto your list and submit that online. We are also on Apply Texas, which is an in-state application, but you can use that as an out-of-state student. You don't have to live in Texas. And then we are also on the Coalition for College app as well. And then the last application is through our website. So it is just on the SMU website, smu.edu/apply, and you can find that application. So between those 4, we have no preference. We encourage students to use whatever fits best for them. If they're already using one of those apps, we're happy to accept that as well.
Awesome. So again, these were just some of our most popular questions that we've encountered this year in 2019. We know that you might have more questions, or maybe through Student Life you have students that you would like to speak with, so make sure that you email us at ugadmissions@smu.edu. Please note that the university will be closed from December 23rd, 2019 to December 2nd, 2020, while we celebrate the holidays as well. But as soon as we get back, we'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions. Again, thank you for watching this webinar, and we hope to read your application soon. Have a great day.